Ladies and gentlemen, creatures of the universe, and that one guy in the back who's already questioning his life choices, hello, I have a question for you. Have you ever been called weird, unusual, a little too much? Good. Congratulations. You, my friend, are among the chosen ones. You see, the world wants you to blend in, to be normal, to be a cog in the machine. But let me tell you a little secret. Normal is the most boring, factory-made, off-brand cereal version of you. I stand before you today as living proof that embracing your weirdness is the key to unlocking your true power. And if you don't believe me, well, just look at my life choices. So before I lose you to the gravitational pull of your phone notifications, here are 10 reasons why your weirdness is actually your superpower. Weird means you're original because there is no one else in the world exactly like you. From the way you think to the way you laugh at things no one else finds funny, your uniqueness is what makes you special. Too often, people try to fit into molds that society creates. But the truth is, those molds were never designed for individuals. They were designed for comfort and predictability. Being weird means you refuse to be just another face in the crowd. It means you embrace the quirks, the odd ideas, and the unconventional dreams that make you different. Think about it. Every great artist, scientist, and creator throughout history was considered unusual at some point. If they had tried to be normal, we wouldn't have some of the greatest inventions, music, or stories that shape our world today. Originality isn't about being weird for the sake of it, but about being so unapologetically yourself that no one could mistake you for anyone else. Instead of worrying about fitting in, celebrate the fact that you don't. Weird people change the world because they see it differently. While most follow the path laid out for them, the so-called weird ones question why the path exists in the first place. They dream bigger, think deeper, and challenge ideas that others accept without question. History is filled with people who were considered odd, eccentric, or even crazy in their time. Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla, Frida Kahlo, Steve Jobs, and countless others. These individuals refused to conform, and because of that, they reshaped the world. Imagine if Thomas Edison had been too afraid of looking foolish to pursue the light bulb, or if the Wright brothers had listened to people who said humans could never fly. Every great invention, every groundbreaking piece of art, and every movement that has ever pushed society forward was led by someone who dared to be different. The world needs people who think outside the box, who see possibilities where others see limitations. So if you've ever felt like you don't quite fit in, maybe that's because you were never meant to. You were meant to stand out and create something new. Weird is magnetic because authenticity is impossible to ignore. When someone is unapologetically themselves, it draws people in like a force field of energy and confidence. Think about the most interesting people you've ever met. They probably weren't the ones trying to blend in or play it safe. They were the ones who embraced their quirks, spoke their minds, and carried themselves with a kind of effortless freedom. That kind of energy is contagious. People are naturally drawn to those who are real because, deep down, everyone craves the freedom to be themselves. When you own your weirdness, you give others permission to do the same. It's why charismatic leaders, unconventional artists, and offbeat comedians capture the world's attention. They don't follow trends, they set them. They make people feel something, whether it's curiosity, admiration, or the sheer joy of seeing someone live without limits. Being weird isn't about trying to stand out for the sake of it. It's about embracing what makes you different so fully that people can't help but take notice. And the best part? The right people, the ones who truly appreciate you, will be drawn to you naturally, creating connections that are real and meaningful. Weird is funny, and funny wins because humor has a way of breaking down barriers and making people feel connected. Think about it. The funniest people in the world are often the ones who embrace their oddities and turn them into something relatable. Comedians, actors, and even your funniest friend, the one who always has you crying with laughter, aren't funny because they're trying to be normal. They're funny because they lean into their quirks, their awkwardness, and their unique way of seeing the world. Humor is powerful because it disarms people. It makes even the most uncomfortable situations easier to handle and turns mistakes into memorable moments. When you're willing to laugh at yourself, you take away the power of embarrassment, and instead you gain the power of connection. People love to be around those who make them laugh, and the ones who do it best are usually a little weird. They see the world through a different lens, and that fresh perspective is what makes their humor stand out. Whether it's turning an awkward moment into a hilarious story or using unexpected wit to lighten the mood, being weird and funny makes you unforgettable. And in life, being memorable is one of the greatest advantages you can have. Weird people take more risks because they aren't as afraid of standing out or failing. When you embrace your weirdness, you automatically reject the idea that you have to fit into society's expectations, and that gives you the freedom to take chances that others might shy away from. The fear of being different holds many people back, but if you've already accepted that you don't quite fit in, you realize there's nothing to lose by going after what you truly want. That makes weird people more adventurous, more willing to try new things, and more likely to push boundaries. Think about the biggest breakthroughs in history, whether in science, business, or the arts. They all came from people who were willing to take risks. From inventors testing wild ideas to artists creating something the world had never seen before, it's always the risk takers who make the biggest impact. And more often than not, those risk takers are the ones who were called weird for thinking differently. They don't wait for permission, and they don't let fear stop them. Instead of worrying about what could go wrong, they get excited about what could go right. Taking risks isn't just about big, life-changing decisions, it's also about the small, everyday choices that shape who you become. Weird people are more likely to start a conversation with a stranger, try a new hobby, or step outside their comfort zones because they aren't paralyzed by the idea of looking foolish. They know that failure isn't the end, it's just another step towards success. The world belongs to those who dare to be different, and the ones who embrace their weirdness are already ahead of the game. Weird kills fear because once you embrace your uniqueness, you stop worrying about what other people think. Fear thrives on the need for approval, on the idea that you have to fit in, follow the rules, and avoid standing out too much. But when you own your weirdness, you strip fear of its power. You stop hesitating, stop second-guessing yourself, and start living with a kind of freedom that most people never allow themselves to experience. Think about it. What's the worst that can happen if you dance in public, wear something outrageous, or speak your mind? People might stare, they might laugh, or they might judge, but so what? The moment you stop caring about their reactions, you become fearless. You realize that most people are too caught up in their own insecurities to really care about yours. And even if they do, their opinions don't change who you are. The people who make the biggest impact in life, whether in art, business, science, or simply in their own happiness, are the ones who refuse to let fear dictate their choices. They take chances, make bold moves, and trust themselves. Being weird means you've already broken free from the trap of fitting in, which means fear has nothing left to hold over you. The moment you accept that you were never meant to be like everyone else, you unlock a kind of confidence that makes fear irrelevant. And once fear loses its grip on you, there's nothing stopping you from doing whatever the hell you want. Weird is confidence in disguise, because the moment you embrace your quirks, you send a message to the world that you're comfortable with who you are. Most people spend their lives trying to blend in, afraid of standing out, afraid of looking foolish, afraid of being judged. But weird people, they don't just stand out, they own it. And that takes real confidence. Confidence isn't about being the loudest person in the room or acting like you have everything figured out. It's about being so secure in yourself that you don't need to pretend. When someone fully leans into their weirdness, whether it's through their sense of humor, their fashion choices, or the way they see the world, it shows that they aren't looking for outside approval. That's powerful, because confidence isn't about making other people comfortable. It's about being comfortable with yourself, even if no one else understands you. Think about the people who inspire you the most. They're rarely the ones who try to be like everyone else. They're the ones who carry themselves with an effortless kind of self-acceptance. They don't shrink themselves to fit into a box. Instead, they make the box fit them. That's what makes weirdness so magnetic. It's a signal to the world that you're unafraid to be exactly who you are. And when you embrace that, people notice. The truth is, confidence and weirdness go hand in hand. The more you accept your quirks, the more powerful you become, because nothing is more attractive, more inspiring, or more untouchable than someone who fully owns themselves. Weird minds are creative minds because they see the world through a completely different lens. While most people follow conventional thinking, weird people question, twist, and reimagine what's possible. They don't just accept the way things are, they wonder how they could be. That curiosity is the foundation of creativity. Some of the greatest artists, inventors, and visionaries in history were labeled as weird before the world caught up with their genius. Salvador Dali painted melting clocks. Nikola Tesla talked to pigeons. And Einstein's hair alone proved he wasn't concerned with fitting in. These were not normal people, but their unique minds reshaped reality as we know it. Creativity isn't just about art or invention. It's about thinking differently in any situation. Weird people are more likely to take unexpected approaches, make unusual connections, and come up with ideas that no one else would consider. They mix and match concepts in ways that others wouldn't even think of. A weird mind doesn't just ask, how does this work? It asks, what if we did it upside down? What if it made a funny noise? What if it were covered in glitter? That kind of thinking leads to breakthroughs, innovations, and moments of pure brilliance. The world thrives on creative problem solving, and weird minds naturally bring that to the table. They don't get stuck in rigid patterns of thought. Instead, they experiment, they play, and they refuse to let "that's just the way it is" be the final answer. When you embrace your weirdness, you unlock a level of creativity that can't be forced or manufactured. It flows naturally because you're allowing your brain to wander into uncharted territory without fear. The more you lean into your weirdness, the more original, imaginative, and inventive you become. Weirdness creates connection because it allows people to see the real you. And that authenticity attracts others who resonate with your unique energy. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who shares your oddly specific interests, your sense of humor, or your unconventional way of thinking? That instant click you feel isn't just coincidence. It's the magic of being unapologetically yourself. Most people walk through life wearing a mask, trying to fit into whatever version of normal they think will make them acceptable. But weird people, they don't bother with that. They let their quirks, their passions, and their odd little habits shine through. And when they do, they naturally attract others who appreciate them for who they truly are. When you're open about your weirdness, you're giving others permission to do the same. That's when real meaningful connections happen. When you're not pretending to be something you're not. Look at friendships, relationships, and even professional connections. The strongest bonds are built not on surface level similarities, but on shared weirdness. The inside jokes that make no sense to anyone else, the shared love for something obscure, the mutual understanding of each other's quirks. These are the things that create deep and lasting relationships. People don't connect over perfection. They connect over imperfections, over the little things that make them unique. Weirdness also breaks down social barriers. It makes people laugh, makes them feel comfortable, and reminds them that they don't have to be serious all the time. When you embrace your weirdness, you become a magnet for the right people, the ones who love you not despite your quirks, but because of them. So instead of hiding the things that make you different, put them on full display. Your weirdness is like a beacon, guiding the right people into your life and helping you build connections that are real, effortless, and unshakable. The world needs more weird, because weird is what makes life interesting, innovative, and full of possibility. Imagine a world where everyone thought the same, dressed the same, acted the same. Boring, right? Without weirdness, there would be no surprises, no creativity, no breakthroughs. Everything great that exists today, from art to technology to culture, came from someone who refused to follow the crowd and instead chose to embrace their unique perspective. Weirdness isn't just about being different for the sake of it. It's about pushing boundaries, questioning the status quo, and bringing fresh ideas into the world. Every major shift in human history has been sparked by someone who thought differently. If we only valued what was normal, we'd still be riding horses instead of driving cars, using candlelight instead of electricity, and sending letters by pigeon instead of instant messaging. The people who dared to dream bigger, who had ideas that seemed strange or impossible at the time, are the ones who shaped the world we live in today. But beyond innovation, weirdness makes life richer on a personal level too. It's what makes people unforgettable. It's what makes friendships more fun, conversations more exciting, and experiences more meaningful. A world without weirdness would be a world without color, without laughter, without those little unexpected moments that make life worth living. The world needs more weird, because weird is what brings us joy. It's the spontaneous dance in the middle of the grocery store, the ridiculous inside joke that no one else understands, the unfiltered passion for something others might find unusual. It reminds us to take life a little less seriously and to embrace the things that make us different. So instead of trying to blend in, let your weirdness shine. Be the person who thinks outside the box, who dares to be themselves, who isn't afraid to shake things up. Because when more people embrace their weirdness, the world doesn't just become more interesting, it becomes more alive. So here's the truth. The world doesn't need more people trying to fit in. It needs more people brave enough to stand out. Your weirdness isn't something to hide. It's your greatest strength. It's what makes you unforgettable, what makes you creative, what makes you you. The moment you stop trying to be normal and start embracing everything that makes you different, you unlock a power most people never tap into. The power to live freely, to take risks, to inspire others, and to create something truly original. So go out there, be bold, be unapologetic, and let the world see the real, wonderfully weird version of you. Because the ones who embrace their weirdness, they're the ones who change the world.